The RTL Football Podcast, now live on Twitch and on YouTube at 8 p.m. UK time on Thursdays.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello guys, welcome back to the RTL Football Podcast. Today we are joined by Gormy, my new co-host for episode 2. Welcome back, mate.
Thank you.
And we're joined by Crazy Boom again. We were going to have Spencer on for his team debut today, but he is not well and has had to go for some tests at the hospital. We are wishing him the best of luck with that, and all sending our best wishes. So there is live games today as well, which will keep you updated. If the goals go in, I believe Southampton have currently scored, and so have Liverpool.
So have Newcastle, apparently.
So have Newcastle now as well. So, we'll keep you updated on the live Premier League games, but we will get right into it. So, I'll start. How have your weeks been? How's your week, Gormy?
It's been all right. Been crazy busy. I mean, last week with the birthday and everything, it was pretty busy. Had to get a bunch of my work done, and then just hit 1,000 subs over on my personal channel. So, very happy with that, and trying to get things in order for that, because with that there's going to be changes coming to my YouTube channel to where I'm doing everything basically in one place. I'll be releasing like a little short video pretty soon once I get the email confirmation that I am now a YouTube partner. So
nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's sick. And what about you, Crazy Boom? How's your week been?
My week's been fine. Started off by I was playing pro clubs at the weekend. That was really good. First time ever doing that, so it was an interesting experience.
Is that with the UBS?
Yeah, I was doing it with
Trader. I think we need to set a UBS. I'm not very good at FIFA, but I think we need to set a UBS versus RTL Football Podcast league up. That would be quite funny, I think.
It'll be interesting, but got a few assists in that. Mulch can't score, a bit like Leeds. He can't score. And I slagged them about that day because they missed a pen.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
Time. And then the rest of the week was me just planning future stuff for FM23 that I have yet to announce, but I was planning.
It could drop any minute. It could drop, so we are waiting for that. Just work for me. We've got someone leaving, so it's quite busy. I'm basically the second chef come tomorrow, really. So,
promotion.
A lot more work. So
making fire ass pizzas all the time.
Yeah, so a lot of work. Anyway, we're here for some football, so let's get right into it. First game was Brighton versus Brentford at Brentford. Did you want to kick us off on that? Boom, very good goalkeeping performance. Brilliant goalkeeping performance.
They missed him in the last few games. I believe he wasn't fully fit for some of their games. That's why they were struggling. But brilliant performance. Brighton at the moment are a team that are creating a lot of chances to win games. They should be winning these games, but for some reason at the moment they're just not scoring them. They had enough chances.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just what the new manager needs to figure out.
Yeah, I agree. They need a striker in January. Love Danny Welbeck, but he's not long-term striker who's going to get those 20 goals they need. Plus, they need an Ivan Toney, really.
And Ivan Toney is proving why he deserves to be in the England squad, but just doesn't get started.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw the discussion about that last week. We were talking about the future of the English national team. Make sure you check that out after this episode. Today we cover the Northern Ireland national team, the home of
Republic of Ireland.
Republic of Ireland. Sorry.
We're going back to the Troubles, John.
So we will get onto that in a bit. So did you have anything to add on that one, Gormy?
Not really, no. But besides that, I mean, with Danny Welbeck, you're right. He's not a long-term solution. So come January, they will have to bring in a striker. It's just who, because the market it's gonna be flooded with teams that are gonna want to pick up players that did pretty decent at the World Cup. And if it isn't picking up those players, you're gonna try and poach players from other clubs that have been having pretty solid seasons so far. So maybe you see a striker come over from, say, like the Belgian league, or maybe they try and bring up a striker from the championship. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, it's going to be really interesting because they know they need a striker. It's going to be interesting where the striker is going to come from.
I know there's a lot of Premier League interest in Gakpo from PSV. One of us, we're heavily linked with him, and I think we might get him. But Southampton were in for him, and Leeds as well. So there's a lot of interest in him in the Premier League as well. And he could be
one of the funniest things I did hear about Danny Welbeck this week is someone literally said that he was an overall better footballer than Mohamed Salah, and I laughed at that.
I agree. 100%.
I want to know what strain of weed that person is smoking.
Anyway, the next game was Fulham versus Bournemouth. And did you want to get us started on that, Gormy?
I don't know if you guys saw the goal that Dom Solanke scored. Link it up with Billing. That was beautiful. That was very, very good. What I find funny is that, because I mean, I never was a big Scott Parker fan. I think it's pretty funny how they sack him, and now they're doing so much better. So much better.
They haven't even appointed a permanent manager yet.
No, it's the interim manager, and he's doing a great job with these guys. And I mean, will they be able, Bournemouth that is, to keep this up all season long? No clue. Fulham, another team that are doing really, really well. And I mean, getting Mitrovic back was huge for them. I mean, he scored that pen, and I mean, but both teams are very surprising. I don't think anyone expected either one of these teams to be doing as well as they did, especially Bournemouth after sacking their manager. So a 2-2 draw, it shows that they're on level pegging with each other, but also like the teams that they've been playing against and the results that they've been getting, they both deserve to be top 10 for sure. I mean, they're both very, very impressive. And I mean, when you have Mitrovic finally coming up to the Premier League and being able to be the Mitrovic that they need, that's going to be massive for Fulham, because in previous seasons when they've been up, he hasn't been able to do what they need. He goes down, smashes the championship, comes back up, and he's doing very, very solid right away.
Yeah, you can do it for Newcastle. Then he went to Fulham, smashed it, and then he's just been consistent for Fulham. He can do it for Newcastle. I think he just fits the system.
I wouldn't say he smashed it for Fulham right away. He definitely had to kind of get used to things. And I mean, the question for him was always, can he do it at a Premier League level? And I think now he's proving that, because when he came to Newcastle from Anderlecht, that was a question: is he going to be able to do it at the Prem level? And they got rid of him because he wasn't. So,
and he couldn't do that before at Fulham seasons when they went
exactly. And this recent season when they went down, I think Fulham, when they went down, kind of realized, like, okay, do we really want Premier League football or not?
Yeah.
And I think that you can definitely tell that they do. They do not want to go back down.
Yeah, definitely.
But I will also say, I said it last week and I'll say it again, Gary O'Neill deserves a chance at the full-time job at this point.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Like he's doing a very, very solid job. I mean, nothing against Scott Parker, but did Bournemouth look like that under him?
No.
They
didn't make any.
They look phenomenal.
I thought they didn't make enough signings in the summer. That was my opinion, and I thought Scott Parker was unfair at that point. But considering what Gary has done with the team, I've taken that complete back. But Gary has proven me wrong in my opinion of Bournemouth at the start of the season.
Yeah, because Scott Parker was complaining that they didn't have enough signings. And I mean, hey,
I was under that
this
impression
interim
too, but
manager
we
is
see.
proving you wrong. Like you had the talent there to be able to do something. It's just not the right person at the helm.
Yeah, I did find it funny though as well though, because obviously he was at Fulham, and when they both got relegated, Bournemouth were in the Championship anyway, and Fulham got relegated. Bournemouth offered him stupid money to jump ship to Bournemouth from Fulham. Now look, they've both gone up, but Fulham have obviously appointed a manager who's had experience in the Premier League and really did not do well, but he's learned from his mistakes. And now he's doing well at Fulham.
That's why I think
Parker's out of a job.
And their manager, they're a perfect match for each other because they both want to prove to people like, all right, we're serious about this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Fulham's a definitely an outside of a top 10. How they play in. And have we got anything else to add on that game before we move on to the next game? And the next game was Spurs versus Everton. Everton didn't play bad. Just Everton have been playing a lot better under Lampard recently. But Spurs just had too much in the tank. Spurs are just getting results at the moment. They're not playing the best football.
It
Arsenal,
kind of seemed like they were going through the motions, but still got the 3 points. And I mean, by being able to do that, I mean that is a sign of a good team when they can win even when they're playing bad. So I mean, in the move by Jordan Pickford, being that you are a English national team supporter, do you think that he should be the starter when you consistently see him making poor decisions and being inconsistent like he has been, especially this season? Because I think seeing that, it's like Aaron Ramsdale, I feel, would not make a mistake like that. And I mean, if they were playing Tottenham, that's a North London derby, and I don't even think that he would make a mistake in that big of an occasion. I think that Pickford is given the benefit of the doubt, kind of like Southgate, because look at what they've done for us type thing.
Yeah, it's hard for me with Pickford because, I agree, but in an England shirt, he has not let us down. And when he's got that England shirt on, he's like we've not had a great few games this season, but a lot of them's been the defence's fault. But when he's got the England shirt on, he's like prime Neuer. When he's got an Everton shirt on, he's prime Green. I don't understand, but it's a hard one. But I do agree it should be Ramsdale.
I just think that it's a bad look when you have, because like Southgate says, and we were talking about it last week, I pick based on form. Pickford ain't in form.
Yeah.
Whether it's for the national team and he doesn't let you down or not, it's the same thing for Harry Maguire. So I think that, I mean, obviously Harry Kane taking the pen, that's automatic almost every time. And then Højbjerg looked pretty solid. I mean, he's starting to score, which I personally did not expect him to do. But I mean, that mishap by Pickford, it's like, that definitely changed the game.
Definitely.
Because they probably could have drawn each other, but that definitely changed the game.
Yeah. Did you have anything to add on that, Crazy Boo?
I will add Spurs have getting more convincing wins ever since your man actually started playing Matt Doherty. Coincidence? I think not going to this, even though
it led to the pen. His shot led to the pen.
Exactly. All I'm saying, bringing it to the debate later today. All I'm saying.
Even after his comments a few weeks back.
Exactly. And for those who care, Alisson did save a West Ham penalty just a second ago.
Ooh.
Cool.
And yeah, so yeah, I think Spurs are definitely in the shout of Champions League, but yeah, I think good. Yeah, I think it's still up in the air about Conte.
Very
as
boring
well.
brand football.
Like his contract runs out. It's very at the end of the year, and clubs are sniffed. Like rumours of Juventus just won't go away, which I think could distract them in that race for top 4. I think they need to.
The reason why they're waiting till the end of the season to get rid of Allegri. They've confirmed that Juventus, like he's going to be there till the end of the season, regardless.
Yeah, because I just saw a report. He's saying he's waiting till the end of the season to see if like Madrid, if like Ancelotti leaves Madrid, or because he did say it's his last job and then he's retiring. So, or if Juventus get rid of their manager soon and go back to Juventus. So, and that's what I think will happen. So, I don't think Conte will be there next season. I think that's surrounding the club. I think it's a bit uncertainty there, which could cause a bit of trouble in the race for top 4. But they're definitely there or thereabouts. Aston Villa next, and they lost again 2-0 to Chelsea. Continuing the great form by Graham Potter, he's doing so well at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Did you want to get us started on that, Gormy?
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it, Mason Mount looks very, very solid right now. I love Mason Mount even when he's playing bad, but he looks very, very solid right now. It is unfortunate that they're not going to have Reece James for 8 weeks. It's unfortunate for the English national team that he's going to be missing as well. Him putting Ruben Loftus-Cheek over on that side, I wasn't sure what he was going to get from him, but he didn't do bad. And I mean, it's proving that Graham Potter is going to utilize kind of everyone rather than having a good old boys club. These players are going to play no matter what type thing.
Yeah.
So he's starting to utilize everyone, and that's good to see.
For England and Chelsea, Reece James is going to be such a big miss.
I will say,
I
will say though, Aston Villa's were the downfall of their own making.
Yeah,
because
I honestly don't think they played that bad.
That's what I'm saying. Aston Villa made mistakes which cost them. They had the chances and they didn't take them. But I also look like defensive mistake caused the first goal.
Yeah,
I just think they were the architect of their own downfall in the first half there.
Yeah. It was definitely defensive mistakes, but I mean, calling for Stevie G to be sacked already, I think is too early.
Yeah, and there was those weird reports at the weekend saying he was already sacked, and then that wasn't true.
I don't think.
There's rumors Poch has been lined up for that job already,
which is ridiculous. I don't think that should happen. If it does,
I think that's a great. In my opinion,
that's great for Aston Villa to get someone like Poch.
If they get Poch, I'd sack Gerrard tomorrow.
But I mean, like it's too early on to know like what Gerrard is capable of with this side. Like we're in October. You guys brought him in last season. Like, give the man some time. It's the same thing with Lampard. Like, Everton got to give Lampard time, and they're giving him the time. Aston Villa need to realize, okay, yeah, we do have a solid team, but we're not challenging for top 8 or even top 6. Like, that's not happening. They got to consistently build. Slow and steady wins the race. Give him time. That's what Rangers did. And look at what happened there. So I don't think Aston Villa played that bad. Yes, they did lose 2-0. Yes, it was defensive just mishaps that cost them the game. But you can clean that up.
From what I saw from like most of the highlights, it was Aston Villa versus Kepa.
Yeah, Kepa played out of his mind.
those 3 back-to-back saves.
That was unreal. They did hit the post on one of those, but he was playing unbelievable.
I also think
and it's hard luck to a man who finished 4th in the Yashin Trophy. Mendy can't even get into the team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also find it so funny just for Spurs fans if Gerrard's sacked this week, they get Poch, and then Conte goes to Juventus because they've been asking for Poch back for 2 years.
Yeah,
that's because Conte's football is it's not good to look at if you're just going just to enjoy a game. He gets results.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
If he goes to Villa and then the Spurs job comes available. I do think that will happen. I think Poch will turn up at Villa, and I think that'll be a really good appointment for him. He needs. I think that's the type of club he needs now after going to PSG. Obviously getting sacked by Spurs, probably wrongly. He deserved more time at Spurs. That was a shocking decision. And
so did Mourinho, but
yeah,
I mean Mourinho was sacked just before a final, which is he's perfect at.
Yep. And next we had Liverpool 1, Man City 0. Did you want to start us off on that, Gormy?
Yes, because Mo Salah might be back.
But not as good as Danny Welbeck, I hear.
he looked very, very good. I talked about this yesterday when I was on Mumsy's podcast, and Man City, even when they're having an off day, they look amazing. And I feel the reason that Mo Salah scored, because he could have had 2-3 goals. That one, Ederson made a phenomenal save. Second one, he did score. But it's because I think that they should have had someone else back there besides Cancelo. And then the third time he could have scored, Darwin Nunez head was so far up his butt, he had no idea that he had 2 people he could have easily given the ball to.
I was going to bring that up, Gormy, that Darwin Nunez could have easily passed it to us.
I was yelling at my TV when I was watching the game. I'm like, move the ball. And
what did you think? What did you think about the disallowed goal for Man City?
I think. All right, I'll say this about VAR. I think going that far back to disallow a goal shouldn't happen. It's been happening with a lot of things lately. Mm-hmm. It happened to Man City against Copenhagen as well. But that goal shouldn't ever happen because that happened after that amazing save from Ederson. Yeah. He saved it. Mo did not miss the net. He saved it. So it should have been a corner, and that goal should have never even happened. So, I mean, I guess it was just like karma. Everything came to fruition, and then boom, because
what's your take on the red card? To Klopp near the end there.
Yes.
Take on that red card.
I mean, some people were saying, why is he so fired up? They're winning. Why wouldn't he be fired up? He's trying to do everything possible to win.
Because because of the results recently, he was trying to keep on to that win.
Yeah, like he's trying to fire him up, like, hey, go get another goal.
And plus his player got tackled, and he got really angry at his player being tackled off the ball.
I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna be fine. I mean, how many managers have been carded this season already? It's kind of awesome to be honest. Like it's good to see that fire from a lot of managers now. That it's showing that, like, all right, these managers really care.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a separate podcast just about VAR soon and try and get a ref on. I'd really like to do that because some of the decisions recently has been.
I won't question just VAR. I'll question the officials. Yeah. The officials are just as bad as VAR.
Yeah, like even in our game, we should have had a pen, and so should have Newcastle.
Both of them should have had a pen.
It's like, but anyway, we can speak about VAR all day. But we will now go on to the next game, and that was Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 1. Did you want to start us off on that, Boom? Wolves about to appoint a manager by the looks of it.
Wolves, that was the best first half I've seen from Wolves in quite a while. Like, actually looked really good. They probably could have scored more and just didn't. They hit the free kick. Neves
barely
hit,
missed.
and Neves hit like the post from his free kick
Yeah.
at one point in that game.
Saw that.
And Nathan Collins looked pretty good in the back. It was his centre back partner that let him down in that defense for their Palace's winner. But they actually looked really good in that first half. They just couldn't keep it up in the second half. Palace looked better, and obviously whatever Vieira said at halftime really fired up Palace because they came out a different team.
Yes, definitely. What did you want to add on that, Gormy?
I think that it was actually a pretty solid game, and like Boone said, Wolves definitely could have scored more. Costa barely missed one. Neves hitting the post. It was just they get a couple bounces to go their way, and it's a different result for them for sure. But I mean, you have Eze scoring, then you have Zaha scoring. There's a lot of rumors that he may leave at the end of the season. But Zaha is kind of like a cult hero for them, kind of. I mean, he's one of the biggest players that they've had.
He's one of those always linked. He's one of those always linked to leave, but just never does.
Yeah, never does. And like you know that he's a player that does deserve a move, but it's like, why would you when you are like a cult hero for them? In the case that whenever they need a goal or just a big play to be made, a majority of the time it's coming from Wilfried Zaha. So, I mean, he definitely deserves that move, but at the same time, it would be sad to see him leave, you know?
Yeah, maybe a move like abroad. Like I saw rumors the other day, I think it was AC Milan. Something
Everyone's
like that.
linked to AC Milan nowadays.
That could be an interesting move. I'd like to see him go abroad, maybe. Obviously, his contract runs out, so he'll have a lot of clubs in for him. Even at like 32, there will be a lot of clubs in for him.
Yeah, because he's still a quality player. He can still do a job for you. So
yeah, even like maybe like a Spurs, I could see that. I could see that Spurs possibly. Arsenal, they need attackers, so that could be an option for them on the free.
He linked at Arsenal quite a lot.
Yeah, I can't see us bringing him back.
No.
So moving on. Anyway, we'll look at the live results before glossing over a few other results that happened in the week. So currently we have some live football on. Liverpool are 1-0 up against West Ham. Newcastle are 1-0 up against Everton. Southampton are 1-0 up against Bournemouth. Brentford is 0-0 versus Chelsea. And yes, so.
And the United Spurs game is currently 0-0. Anthony just hit the post.
Yeah, that's also 0-0. So we will now move on to gloss over a few games. So if you have anything to add on these games, just pipe up. So Leicester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. Brendan Rodgers still on the ropes there. Imminent. I think that sacking imminent.
If Leicester does go down, how many players do you think stay and how many do you think go? Do you think Jamie Vardy is one of those that stays? Because I definitely think Yuri Tielemans is gone.
I think Vardy's probably one of the. I think Vardy's probably the only one that probably would be looking to stay more so than the. I think a lot of them, like Maddison, will be looking to get a better.
Yeah, I think Maddison and Tielemans could both move in January. To be fair, which should screw.
I think
Ward will stay. Ward will stay because no one wants Ward at this point.
Yeah. Newcastle still want James Maddison as well, which I think will be a great move for him. So, yeah, I really actually hope that.
What about a player like Barnes?
Yeah, I think Barnes will get.
I think a promoted team would like to go for those type of players.
I could see someone like a West Ham going for a Barnes, someone like that.
Like some other players,
that kind of fits like what they did with Bowen. So yeah, that would definitely make sense.
But I could see like some of their other players like go to like clubs that just go up that want to stay up. A lot of good players there.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Barnes to West Ham next summer. When heard it first on the RTL Football Podcast.
Maybe Jose Perez is one that might get a move somewhere to like a promoted club.
Yeah.
This type of person.
Yeah, definitely.
Ian Nacho is another one that could get himself a decent move.
Oh, yeah. Ian Nacho, I definitely think would move. Unless he goes down and has a Mitrovic type season. It's like, hey, let me go down, break that record. I'll score 52.
Next, we had Southampton 1, West Ham 1. Not really much to add on that.
No.
Southampton continue to struggle.
We've kind of spoken about it already, but Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0. Yeah, we both should have had pens, but yeah, not the best.
It should not have ended 0-0, but it was.
What was all that with Ronaldo?
And it looked like the free kick had been taken, but the ref didn't blow his whistle, but it looked like they took the free kick. So Ronaldo genuinely thought the free kick was taken, so he got the ball and scored. And that's what he was complaining about. Because he genuinely thought Nick Pope had taken the free kick.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you watch it back, it does look like Nick Pope took the free kick, but he didn't. So it's just
It's just a misunderstanding that he shouldn't have been booked for, but he was. He was like complaining.
Anyway, next we had Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal just getting another result.
Bamford cannot hit a barn door.
Exactly. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat in the ocean. Like that was horrendous.
Like I alluded at the start when I was playing pro clubs, I slagged mulch about this that Bamford cannot hit anything ever. Like what's with this?
Very good to see. No, they definitely need a striker, I think. I haven't really got much more to add on that, but Arsenal keep pushing. They're definitely in that title race, but I don't think they've got the depth. I think that's the only issue they might have. But
the big result
there or thereabouts.
Big result for them is Liverpool winning, which keeps the gap there.
I was in a very heated debate yesterday about Arsenal winning the league, so I'm ready to stop talking about Arsenal winning the league because I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, I would be mind blown. But
actually, the last team to win this amount of games so far and lose and not win the title was Arsenal.
And before that, there was the amount of the exact same stat before that stat. Guess who it was? It was Arsenal. So they're bottle drops. They're not winning the league.
As much as Arsenal fans like making fun of Tottenham, they are two peas in a pod.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Brighton struggling to score again. Another great goalkeeper performance by the Forest goalkeeper. But 0-0 again. Brighton are really struggling for goals at the moment, and we've covered it already today. But they need to get a striker in. The amount of chances they had in that game, it was like Man City versus Forest. It looked like, if you look at the stats, but it was Brighton. It was like, they definitely need to bring a striker in. Anything else to add on that game?
Nope.
No, just more of the same.
Next, so that is our Premier League roundup. So now we will go into our European game of the week, and this week it is our Classico, and I'm sure you've seen the TikTok by Crazy Boom. So did you want to start us off on this Crazy Boom?
Yeah, El Clasico went pretty much as you'd expect. Barcelona tried to control the game. Real Madrid sat in and controlled it and hit them when it hurt at their moments, and they won.
Two great strikes by Real Madrid, and obviously
the disallowed goal from Benzema was also a beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, all three strikes were good. And
Valverde looks unreal right now. He looks unreal. But let's not take away. Yeah. Well, let's not take away though the goal that Barcelona scored.
Yeah, it was a beautiful.
That was amazing. Amazing. The front
Although I will say
each one of them touching the ball, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I will say one Barcelona fan didn't like my thing. That his analysis was Real Madrid pay the ref FC. So
Nice. Nice.
that was one person's comment.
That's a majority of their excuses. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Barcelona can't afford to pay the ref because they've got no money.
That is great.
So,
And
Because
Real
it is
Madrid-
not a lie.
Real Madrid are back on top of La Liga after.
yeah, I think
Their
second
second
on
money
goal
tree
difference
is
before.
running out.
yeah, they'll have to take a lever to pay some.
They are now the only team undefeated in La Liga.
Yeah. And
Madrid, so
massive congratulations to Benzema as well, winning the Ballon d'Or.
Yep.
It's
His first Ballon d'Or.
been known for quite a while that he's going to win it.
Yeah.
He's going to win it, but well deserved. Yeah, really deserved. What a season he's had.
Yep. And he's still doing it. So
Yeah. Yep. Definitely the right choice this time after controversy the last few years.
Lewandowski should have one, but that Ballon d'Or is cancelled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which he did comment before the event saying Benzema should win this unless they cancel it last minute. What Lewandowski said in an interview.
Did you see how happy Kylian Mbappe was though at that?
Yeah, he was very happy hearing that he was nowhere near the top 3.
Yeah, he was not happy. So yes.
He cried. He texted PSG saying, "This is why I want to leave. See, you promised me I'd get this. We're in France, for God's sake.
It's in my contract that I win the Ballon d'Or.
It's in the country. I thought Macron said he set this up for me."
Yes. Moving on to some comments made by José Mourinho this week. And I normally find some of José Mourinho's comments quite frustrating, but these comments I 100% agree with. He is saying he was questioned on Barcelona and Juventus being on the Champions League. Obviously, they finished third in their group, so they are knocked into the Europa League, which has been a rule forever. Well, how the Champions League and Europa League have been a thing. And I've always agreed with that. Like, if United have finished third in a Champions League group, I've never agreed that we should have a second chance on going to the Europa League. And that's what basically what Jose is saying. What is your thoughts on that, Normie?
I mean, all right. So there's I have 2 different opinions on this. Okay. One is, yeah, they shouldn't, because I would prefer that Barcelona is just knocked out of European competitions and not have a chance to go down and then win the Europa League and get money to save them from them literally destroying themselves. So there is that. I don't think that they should be given a second chance, but looking at it from a business perspective, which is why this is a thing, would you rather watch Apoel and Arsenal or Barcelona and Arsenal? That's how they're looking at it. Because yes, that is also along the lines of the Super League, which I do not support whatsoever.
That's back today as well.
But in a way, the Champions League, Europa Conference League, to an extent, those are your super leagues. So I mean, you definitely still get those big time matchups by those teams falling down into the Europa League. Is it fair? No. Does it make for amazing competition? Yes. But like you can basically figure out what certain teams are kind of going for, especially depending on their groups. Like say Sevilla was in that group instead of Barcelona. Sevilla is aiming for third so that they can go down and win another Europa League. It's just that it's smart to do that sometimes. It's annoying that clubs do that, but they have the ability to do it because of how it's set up.
Yeah.
So would I rather them be knocked out entirely? Yes. From the business perspective, though, I would much rather watch Arsenal play Barcelona or Juve than play a team from Cyprus. So
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can see both sides of that argument. I've just never agreed with people. They teams getting a second chance. I think, especially if you're a smaller team, like obviously that year when Fulham got to the final,
mhm.
that would have never happened if you had, say, Bayern Munich or Barcelona dropping down into the last 16.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so
It would definitely be harder, but for those smaller teams, say it is Fulham, yeah, Barcelona coming to town, you're selling out, and that's big time money for the club. So well, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to look at it from a business perspective with this. Yes, more eyes are going to be drawn to Arsenal versus Barcelona, but say it is a Barcelona like versus Fulham,
hmm,
the money that would come in to Fulham would be amazing for a club like that. For smaller
Yeah.
clubs to make, like Man City going to Copenhagen. Yeah,
yeah,
Copenhagen's not going to make it out of that group, but just Man City going to Copenhagen in Denmark,
yeah,
that's the whole city's going to want to be there.
hmm,
So it definitely helps. There's definitely a trickle down effect, money wise, which is probably another one of the reasons why they do this,
hmm,
so that is a possibility, but also the possibility of a Barcelona Arsenal type first round in the Europa League, or if there is a Barcelona Fulham type thing, still that helps out that smaller club.
yeah, definitely. What do you think about that one, Boom?
It's interesting. Like, I do think some clubs deserve to go down the Europa League because it gives them more money and stuff. Like, you think, like, if Copenhagen still have a chance to finish third, just the
Hmm,
goal difference separates them at fourth at the moment.
hmm,
Mhm.
They would benefit by staying in Europe.
yeah,
Smaller teams, like if they do eventually get in there, say if it has happened before, an Irish team gets into those group stage, they
yeah,
would like to stay in. They would be eating your hand off for a third place finish to stay in another
yeah,
competition.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I definitely
Yeah,
would. The only way that I think you could not have that as a possibility is you change the prize money.
yeah,
That's the only way that teams will be okay with that not happening.
hmm,
Because, like Boom said, say a team from the Republic of Ireland were to finish third, say it's like Bohemians,
hmm,
those teams already don't make a whole hell of a lot of money. So to be able to get their money for the group stage, having taken part in the Champions League, but then they also get to take part in the Europa League, that's even more money. So for those smaller clubs, that backs up my point. Like with a Barcelona Fulham type thing, those smaller clubs definitely would enjoy that happening. And for a club like Copenhagen, yeah, they're the biggest club besides Midtjylland and Nordstrand and in Denmark, but that money will definitely go a long way in helping them build up their team to where they could maybe compete and have a miracle season one season like Ajax did.
hmm,
So it's if teams do it the smart way,
yeah,
you'll see a lot more cool stories like Maccabi Haifa beating Juve.
hmm,
That was awesome. So and I mean with Club Bruges, the way that they're playing,
hmm.
that is amazing. So you definitely get those stories.
Can
So you can still get those surprises. It's just
you can link
I
it
think
in?
people get annoyed because the big clubs get those second opportunities,
Yeah.
uh, not just those smaller clubs.
Do you can also link it with another debate that's happened, come back today. Obviously, I'm not sure if you've seen the news that the Super League have
They want to start
hired
in
and
2 years' time.
started, and they've got plans for 2 years' time, and they've got a new CEO running it. And he said that he wants it in planned for 2024. So, what's your thoughts on this? can't go away now.
I don't think the Super League should ever be a thing because they already have it. It's called the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League.
And plus,
Even-
the Champions League is basically becoming the Super League. If you think about it,
that's what it is.
structure.
Yeah, like
They're making a
because
league
how
structure
they're
in
gonna
New
have
Zealand.
it. There's no point to start another thing. That's just
Yeah.
that's more money for the owners and people who are greedy.
And even if they want to,
which is essentially what the Super League is. It's about greed, money, and power, and that's what they want. They don't want to have to answer to UEFA for anything, so they'll probably end up taking whatever punishment comes. And if they have to leave and play in that Super League, they will. And what sucks is that you've got the guy at Real Madrid. It would save Barcelona. It would save Juve because they're having financial stuff as well.
Yep.
But you have these American owners like the Glazers and like Stan Kroenke, who I absolutely despise and cannot stand, that are 110% for this.
And the Liverpool
because they know that if they market it right, it will work. If they have the right teams, it will work. It's just it sucks that it could happen.
I think with the Prem at the moment, like the way the backlash lasts, I think it's going to be very difficult to get the Prem teams back into a project like that because of how much backlash they suffered during the last Super League.
Yeah.
It'd be a hard sell for a lot of those
But
teams.
you can with what Todd Bailey's been saying with Chelsea, you can guarantee Chelsea would be in that.
No,
Guarantee
exactly.
Chelsea would be in that. Arsenal would be in that. Man United would be in that. I think Liverpool, I don't think go. Man City, I don't think go.
I actually don't think United go at this particular moment in time with the amount of pressure on the Glazers already. They wouldn't want to bite a silver bullet to kill themselves.
They would.
I'd counter argue that there's no reason with the pressure they've got on right now, with potential buyers there, and them still refusing to sell, even that they need to do the stadium, and they've openly said they need to do the stadium and haven't got the money for it. The only reason they're staying there because they know the Super League is still a possibility, and they're going to get a massive check if that goes through.
Yeah, it's exactly why. So, and I mean, what sucks is that the American owners that are over there are all of teams that no one likes over here. Because Bailey owns the Dodgers. No one likes the Dodgers except Dodgers fans. Kroenke owns the Rams. No one likes the Rams except Rams fans. Especially in my city, no one likes the Rams, and they're brainwashed if they do. No one really likes Tampa Bay because they kind of bought themselves a Super Bowl by bringing in Tom Brady and everybody. So, I mean, you have these owners that are now basically hated nationwide, worldwide, almost. So, I mean, will it get the eyes? Obviously, yeah. Because it backs up what I was saying about Barcelona Arsenal. Like, people would much rather watch that than a Arsenal versus a team from Cyprus. But why create another league that is literally going to have so many repercussions put on you when you're already in what is basically a Super League? Because the Champions League used to be only champions. You win your league, you're in. You don't, you're not.
But
now they changed it, so it's a trickle effect all the way down.
They're gonna have like a repercussion because like the Premier clubs did sign an agreement from the Premier League that they would not break away ever again.
Yeah,
they've all signed. The top 6 clubs have all signed that.
I can guarantee you. I can
guarantee people won't follow that, but they signed that, so there will be repercussions league-wise if they do this. Again,
it's basically
they will get they signed up to agreeing that they will get deducted a lot of points, which will effectively relegate them all if they sign breakaway.
Yeah, but they won't care.
I know they won't. I know they won't care. I'm saying that's what will happen. Fans will care about that.
Yeah,
Fans
the fans will, but they don't care about the fans. They care about the Quan and how much money they're going to be able to make.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Say the Super League happened tomorrow, and it's all official, and say 10,000 United fans said that I'm never going to Old Trafford again. I'm not supporting United again. They've already replaced that 10,000 United fans.
Exactly, with tourists.
Yeah.
So that they literally do not care. Like for clubs that are more family and town community oriented and based, if those teams were to join a Super League, then yes, it would hurt. But I mean, with a team like John just said, with Man United, if 10,000 fans say I'm never going to the game again, they got those 10,000 replaced next week.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, yes, it won't be season ticket holders, but they will find 10,000 people to fill those seats.
Oh, easy.
And it won't be everyone in a Man U shirt. It'll be like when the NFL comes to London and you got people representing every single type of team.
Yeah.
That there won't be loyalty anymore, which already isn't with players. I mean, look at Mbappe.
Speaking of like these like tournaments and stuff, did you see that like story that they're planning to do this big
preseason tournament in the
US?
Like
most of the Premier League teams.
Yep. I don't know what they're gonna do or why, but
yep. Anyway, that was a good debate. I thought that would cause some good debate on that subject. And the next we have the future of the Republic of Ireland national team. We're now going to hand you over to our member from over there, Mr. Boom. Did you want to kick us off on the future of your national team?
Oh, yes. It is.
His eyes lit up like a kid in a candy store.
Exactly. I like talking about Ireland. And I like talking how we're going to Albafemi's going to completely destroy France in the qualifiers. I'm telling you now. Michael Albafemi. I went to see the Scotland game where he destroyed Scotland. I need to go to some of those games because we have not lost a game that I've actually gone to.
To go to all of them.
I'm just saying that needs to happen at this point. But yeah, it's a bit ropey at the moment, the future, because we always seem to start tournaments like with the World Cup qualifiers, the Nations League, our qualifiers for Euro stuff. We always start them terribly for some reason. Like we lost to Armenia at the start of the Nations League and lost to Ukraine we lost to Ukraine, then drew to Ukraine, and then we win against Scotland, and then we start actually playing well in friendlies and stuff after that. It seems that the same thing happened in the World Cup qualifiers. We lost games, and then we got that draw against Portugal 0-0, and then we started actually winning games. It's just an avid thing where for some reason Ireland cannot start qualifying groups good. And it comes down to the manager, Stephen Kenny, at the moment. He has us playing good football, but for some reason it's not getting results at start of tournaments. And he has a lack of substitutes at times. He doesn't manage games properly. Like he kept in the last one against Scotland when we were losing, he kept Troy Parrott on even though he was not scoring whatsoever. And then he takes off the one that looked like was scoring, Albafemi, takes him off for Ogbene and leaves Troy Parrott on, which everyone said was ridiculous. We also have an over-reliance on certain players that shouldn't be nowhere near the team, like Jeff Hendrick, nowhere near this team. But for some reason, he still gets picked every window and starts the games at the start of tournaments, which is why we end up losing, because the midfield is just non-existent. We have a lot of young talent that could go places like Nathan Collins, Gavin Bazunu, Michael Obafemi, Ogbene. They've impressed in recent times. Some of them are now playing Premier League football, which is very good to see because most of our talent is championship level or League One that we end up calling up. So it's nice to see some of them starting to get into Premier League again.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot of throughout the years mismanagement when Delaney ran FAI. There's a lot of mismanagement of things. We over-relied on the English academies to try and get talent from them with part Irish rather than there's been no development into the Irish leagues, so no one gets called up from them because the players are just not at the standard or level to compete. So we end up just trying to get off the English academies like, oh, do you have a granddad that's part Irish? Come on board to the Irish national team. And that's the situation we've been left in.
Crazy Boom's actually been called up for the next.
Yeah. Do you think, and I've personally wondered and thought this with the U.S. national team, which I'm sure we'll do one of these segments at some point on them. Do you think having players play abroad would benefit the national team more or less?
I think it would benefit them more because we have a lot relying on English. I think like some of them, like I know he's now an English tier. He now plays for Burnley, Josh Cullen, but he was playing for Anderlecht and doing very good. That's where he came into the team from.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was nowhere near the lineup. He was nowhere near the lineup until like he started playing a lot of games for Anderlecht, which eventually got him that move to Burnley.
Yeah.
So it has helped him get into the team.
I think that someone like Troy Parrott could go somewhere else and play, like the Eredivisie or to Belgium, even Austria.
Yeah.
Get that game time,
develop them as a player.
And then, boom, you have...
Because at the moment they're being the moment he's being stagnated with loan moves to like bottom tier English.
Yeah,
that's why I say
at some point the Irish national team or the Irish FA or whatever are gonna have to like grow some cojones basically and say, look, we need you guys like taking responsibility for your careers and developing yourselves.
Exactly, but it's been years of
or
neglect
else this national team's not going to go anywhere.
It's been years of neglect from Delaney.
Yeah, like you said, there are plenty of youngsters coming through that are going to be pretty solid.
Another one who needs game time.
You still need a lot of development all around for the team to be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, for example, Adam Ida had a lot of potential when he was there. He played very well in certain games, but now is nowhere to be seen in that Norwich team in the championship. So he's not been called up whatsoever recently in the things. And the most likely person to get called up from Norwich is Ahmed Mamadeli. He gets called up as centre back because he does play now and again.
He's a good centre back.
But at the moment, he's a bit of an injury record recently.
Yeah, same as Ida. They've both got an injury record. But my dad's that centre back is really, really good for the future.
And God knows what's happening with Aaron Connolly. He's disappeared up to the second tier of Italy.
I mean, you also have, being able to have, and I'm not going to say it's anywhere near the level of like Brazil to where they have Allison and Ederson to pick between.
Yeah.
But you guys have Bazunu and Kelleher.
They're two very good young keepers that are
two very good young keepers that are going to be that spine back there for you guys. So, you guys are going to develop and get better. It's just, like I said,
as a whole, Ireland
take charge of your development.
As a whole, the Irish national team have always been very good at developing keepers. Like our keepers throughout the years have always been very good. It's the one area of development we've actually successfully been at the entire time. And most tournaments, our keepers keep us in said game until we nick a goal at the very end from probably a Shane Duffy header. That's literally how we've been for recently. Until Stephen Kenny come on has actually started making us play proper football. But it's hard in the beginning because an Irish team has never played proper football, so they don't actually know how to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you think you will get on in the group stages of the World Cup coming up?
We're not in the World Cup, but
Euro, sorry.
the Euros qualifiers, terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. We've got the worst possible draw that we probably could have. In that, getting the Netherlands from the Nations League thing and then getting France from pot 2 is absolutely the most nightmare situation you can possibly think of, because we now need to get a win from either France or the Netherlands to have a hope of qualifying, which we have done before against Germany from qualifier in 2016.
If it's against either one of them, I don't think it's France. I definitely think it would be the Netherlands.
Yeah,
because the Netherlands are notorious for having off days.
Yeah.
And that is when Ireland could definitely take advantage. And make that happen.
Yeah, and we did it before, like to qualify for Euro 2016, which we didn't think we'd qualify. We had to beat Germany, which we actually did manage to draw and beat Germany in that qualifier. To actually, which was one of the best nights in the Aviva. Just our goalkeeper hitting it straight long and Shane Long on the end of it, just ran it in and past Neuer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we're hoping to recreate in this qualifier at some point.
You heard it here first.
Boom will be on that episode. Gavin Bazunu hits it up to Michael Obafemi. Michael Obafemi hits past Lloris.
See, I can get behind all this hype for Michael Obafemi because he's a swan, and I absolutely love what he does for us. So, I mean, I think that he's definitely. I would prefer him over Troy Parrott, for sure.
Exactly.
It's
why we questioned when against Scotland when it was 1-1. He took off Obafemi for Ogbeni and left on Troy Parrott for the entire game of that one. When Troy Parrott before that missed like 7 chances directly 1-on-1 with the keeper.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because one is a Tottenham product, the other was from Southampton?
No, I think that's the criticism of Stephen Kenny. I don't think he knows, because it's such a young squad, I don't think he knows which players he wants to use. Because half the time he starts with Bazunu and then the next game he might switch to Keller. I don't think he fully knows yet which is his proper full
Maybe
team,
do 3 friendlies against the US and then both managers can figure out what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, last team, last tournament, like during the Euros, we started bringing in Ogbeni. He scored a lot of goals. And then this one in the Nations League, Ogbeni's been more of a bench player rather than a starter, which he was very good as a starter before then. So I don't think he fully knows his team yet. What he wants to do for his football.
Maybe we could do a friendly tournament, England. So they need to know what they're doing under Southgate.
They're never going to know what they're doing under Southgate.
Republic of Ireland and USA. We can just have a mini tournament so they try and figure out.
And our midfield is pretty good now with Cullen, Malumbi, and Knight. They're good midfielders to develop. They have a lot of potential. But for some reason, now and again, we still decide to tuck in Conor Hurahan and Jeff Hendrick into the mix.
Now, for Conor Hurahan, because I watched him when he was at Villa, I watched him when he was at Swansea, he is a very solid midfielder, but he is not what he once was.
Yeah, which is why I don't think he should be starting games when he does. And when Jeff Hendrick starts games, I instantly say, well, we're losing this game. When I see Jeff, literally when I went to Scotland and I think I said, we will win this game in the Viva against Scotland if Jeff Hendrick doesn't start. If it starts, I contemplated leaving the city.
Fair enough.
And I saw that he didn't start and I was like, yes, we fought. And then we won 3-0.
Nice. And yeah, I think that covers that subject of this week. And yes, so we will double check on the results, see where we are. Southampton are still 1-0. Newcastle still 1-0 up. Liverpool are still 1-0 up. It's 0-0 in Brentford versus Chelsea. What's the United score?
It's 0-0. It's been all United, but they haven't been able to score. Bit like against Newcastle and other games. Against Onima as well.
Yep.
Same story this week for United. And I will end the Ireland thing by just saying we have a lot of potential, but Stephen Kenny needs to work on his managerial decisions. It's a young squad. They can develop, get better and better each thing, but he needs to work on his mismanagement in times during games. And if he does work on that, gets better timings, stops playing Jeff Hendrick or putting him on, because that's also how we nearly threw it away against Armenia at the last game of the Nations League. We were 2-0 up, and then suddenly it was 2-2 the moment Jeff Hendrick and Conor Horan put on the field in their midfield. And we had to get saved by Robbie Brady in a penalty.
Nice.
So he just needs to work on that, and that's the future.
Yep. Gormy, did you have anything to add on that? Before?
No, I'm with him because, I mean, there's a lot of, there's clubs even, not just national teams, that should be focusing on youth. I mean, especially the U.S., I think that we should be playing as many young guns as possible under the right manager, for sure. But
I thought you loved the USA manager. So.
Funny man you are. But no, yeah, I think that you can win with kids. It's just you got to make sure that you are developing them correctly. And I mean, one thing that, like I asked Boom, do you think having them play more abroad would help instead of just either playing in Ireland, Scotland, or England? Like, have them go play in Belgium, have them go play in Germany, play in Italy, play wherever to get the development and playing time, because the U.S. has started doing that, but we're still picking half of our team from the MLS, and it's not going to work.
Same as we said last week with England, like you got Smalling and Tomori,
Tammy Abraham,
all in MLS. Can't get a look in.
And Jude Bellingham, like we said, he's only in because of how good he is.
Yeah.
Or else he probably wouldn't be in either. Because, I mean, there was a time where Ryan Kent looked really freaking good under Stevie G and could have at least gotten a game. But no, wouldn't give him a shot. And he's playing in Scotland and he won't give him a shot. So, I mean, it's very focused on, if you're in the Prem, you're in my team. If you're not in the Prem, you have to be an absolute world beater to be in my team when it comes to Southgate. But I think that, like Boom said, there's a lot of potential with the Irish national team. That's why I wanted to do this, because there is a lot of potential there. But like Boom said, development and
more
the manager
people need to
getting
do
things right.
More people got to do what Josh Cullen did for a season or two. Just play and handle it.
Like go and develop. Like it's there's no problem with playing with younger players as well, because personally, I think that I'm with what Bayern Munich said when they sold Lewandowski to him, because they're like, you guys aren't probably going to be around in 2 to 3 years,
that was funny.
unless the Super League happens, because they're literally selling their own brand. So I think that they should take everyone they have that isn't under the age of like 25 and sell them and use La Masia. It's one of the best academies in the world. They could prove to other clubs and national teams playing with youngsters works. Yes, it's not pretty immediately, but it does work.
Yeah, definitely. Because when we won the Champions League, FA Cup and Prem, we used the kids. They never said we could. And look at that.
It's the famous quote of like someone to Sir Alex saying, "You can never win with kids."
Yep. So, where can we find you, Gormy?
At Y Gormy on everything.
Yep. And where can we find you, Boom?
Crazy Boom with 2 underscores at the end on both Twitter and Twitch, and Boompool on YouTube.
Yep. And you can find me at jono.tv on Twitter, Rota Legends, RTL Football Podcast, and we have launched today the applications for commentary teams for Rota Legends. So make sure you get them in. We've had some great applicants so far. Some big names in the community interested in joining the Rota Legends team. So make sure you get those applications in if you want a chance at being in the commentary for FM23. Contact me, Brilliant, or Don. And yes, we will see you next week. We've got a very special guest on next week, which we will announce in the week. Looking forward to that. First guest of the season, and it will be a good one. So we will see you next week. We're going to raid over now and see you next week.